Hello fellow YouTubers. Today I'm going to provide a review and my personal experience with the Amazon bestseller, the Fire TV Stick with Alexa Voice Remote. Before we get started, be sure to hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video or any of my other videos. Hit the subscribe button to have my videos appear in your feed. Alright, now that we have that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the Fire TV Stick. To compare, I actually have two Roku 2s. I bought them probably about a few months apart, and the Fire TV Stick blows those Rokus out of the water. And there's a number of reasons why I personally prefer the Fire TV Stick, and that's basically what we'll talk about today. Before we talk about that, I do want to go over what we primarily use the Fire Stick for. We use it to watch YouTube videos, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We watch HBO through Amazon. We also watch the ESPN app, the True TV app, and so on. And I'll also mention those later on as well. But first, let's talk about the pros. First, you have the ability to sideload apps that are not already configured or created in the Amazon version of their app store. So basically what that means is you can navigate to a web page through Amazon Fire Stick and download any other apps if you see fit. This is really popular if you wanted to download something like Kodi or some of the other software that's out there. That is something that you are not able to do with the Rokus, at least as of this video you weren't able to do that. And so the Rokus actually have their service, their hardware locked down pretty tight, so there's not a lot of flexibility in there. But not with the Fire TV. Fire TV, if it's on the internet, it is a small enough size where it can fit on the device. You can basically download it. Second, it works with Alexa. Alexa is a way that you can communicate with Amazon products. For example, you could say, Alexa, what's today's date? And it'll respond back with the date, which is pretty cool. So in this instance, you could say, Alexa, turn on HBO now. And Alexa will stop whatever app that's currently running and then switch to HBO now. In the beginning, you had to press the speaker button that's on the remote. However, more recently, you can actually use the Echo Dot or whatever other hardware that you have at the time. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice feature. I don't use it a ton because I have a few different remotes with me or on me. I have the Amazon actual remote. I also use the app, the remote app, which is really nice. Very easy to use, and I know that I always have the phone right by my phone right by my side, and that's probably the first thing that I use is the actual remote on the app on my phone. As I mentioned, it works very easily with other Amazon products, most notably the Echo Dot, that family of listeners and communication software. Fourth, one of the big things that I like about the Fire TV Stick is that I've never had it lose connection. The only time it loses or drops connection is when the internet goes down or my power goes out. Other than that, it has worked pretty steadily, which is awesome. I can't say the same for my Roku. Occasionally my Roku will not connect to things, and so I'll have to unplug it and plug it back in. I've never had to do that with my Fire TV Stick. It works pretty seamlessly, which is huge when you have kids that demand watching YouTube. Fifth, anyone can develop an app and post it. If you search through the apps, there's thousands of apps that you can download, which can be good and bad, but it does enable creativity and flexibility if anyone can download the app. I would say the sixth pro out of the many pros that are out there is that it is easy to adopt to. There's no learning curve whatsoever. Basically, you plug it in, and as long as you have an Amazon account, you are up and running. You can just download apps as you see fit. One thing that you do need to be aware of is you do need to have an Amazon account. I know that can be a drawback for some people that don't like to have a lot of information on the internet. So that actually leads me to my con. My first con is that you do need to have an Amazon.com account. What I would recommend is before plugging in this Fire TV stick, go to a computer or a tablet or even your phone, I guess, and create an Amazon account if you don't already have one. It'll make it much easier to create an account this way versus pressing the buttons to pressing it 15 times to go over to A and then down to B and so on. What I would recommend definitely is to go to a place where you have a keyboard, create an account, and then go from there. It'll make your life a little bit easier. The second con, and probably the biggest frustration that we have as a family, is that there's no YouTube app. There was a YouTube app at one point, and then Amazon and Google got into a little tiff or whatever you want to call it, and so they got rid of that app. So what you have to do is you have to either go through Silk, which is a web browser for Amazon, or you have to go through Firefox and then go to YouTube that way. It's not a huge deal. It's just a minor inconvenience where you have to go through an additional step. It would be much easier if Amazon and Google got over their little frustrations with each other and you could just go directly to Amazon. Another frustration that I have is that it can be difficult to delete subscription services. For example, if you wanted to get rid of HBO Now or whatever it else is that you're paying for, you have to go through Amazon.com, the website, in order to do that. I haven't found yet, and maybe if I'm wrong, you can point it out in the comment section. I haven't found a way yet to remove subscription services through the app. So you want to make sure that you're aware that if you download a free trial of, let's say, HBO, you know how to download it, or else you'll be billed for it reoccurring every month. I would say our second biggest frustration is that the Fire TV stick, and this is more of Apple, or this is more of Amazon in general, is that it's missing some pretty big name apps. For example, in our area, we use Spectrum, which is formerly Time Warner. We use their streaming service, and I don't have an app to go to use their streaming service. Now, Roku has the Spectrum TV app, and you can use that pretty easily. But if I want to watch the same or comparable TV on my Amazon Fire Stick, I have to download each individual app and then manually navigate to them. For example, if I wanted to watch ESPN, I'd have to close the Netflix app, go over to ESPN, open ESPN, enter my password, and then view. And then if I want to go to True TV or whatever else, again, I have to hit the home button and then navigate over to True TV or a different app. Whereas if I'm using the Roku 2, I can just go to the guide or go to the menu and navigate to the different channels that way. So that's something else to think about. I'm sure Charter or Spectrum are working on developing an app. It's just a minor inconvenience when you're trying to channel surf. Overall, as I mentioned, I think that the Fire TV stick blows the Roku hardware out of the water for a few different reasons. First of all, the flexibility, the ability to side load apps to basically curtail basically the way to modify the Fire TV to your streaming preference, to your viewing preference is huge. The ability to integrate the Fire TV stick with other Amazon hardware and software is a huge plus. It makes you lazier, which is good when you're coming home from work and you just want to relax and watch a little TV. And finally, it's very easy to use, very easy to adapt to. The navigation and user interface is very easy, very streamlined. It's very flowy, if that makes sense. Everything flows together and works together, so it makes your life a little bit easier. So what you should do now is click the link below to check out the product for yourself. Read the reviews, read the description. These views are just my views, they're personal views, but definitely go out and click that link that you'll find below and take a look for yourself. The link that you will click is an affiliate link, and by purchasing the product, I do receive a small bit of compensation. The cost of the Fire Stick is not affected positively or negatively by clicking the link. It's just a little bit of a compensation for me on my end. Finally, before I go, please Like this video if you enjoyed it. Also hit the subscribe button and tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you own a Fire Stick TV? Do you own a different Amazon device? What are your favorite apps? What streaming service do you prefer? So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for listening, and we will see you soon.